Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And this evening, I have a treat for you guys. I have Janice Johnson, and she's going to break down how you guys can start a successful business. So I hope you have your pens and paper out. Have your attentive and assertive ears on, because this young sister is going to break down some information that you need in order to be successful. So let's see what she has to say. Let's get this thing started. Good evening, Miss Janice Johnson. How you doing, sister?
Hey, good evening, good evening. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So a lot of us are breaking away from the corporation. We're breaking away from traditional ways of earning income and making money and wages and things of that matter. And you have started your own business. What is your business in?
So I actually have quite a few. I consider myself a serial entrepreneur, but I am in the finance space as a financial advisor, as well as in the health and beauty space, particularly skincare personal products. There's a couple of other endeavors that I'm dabbling in, but those are my two main honchos for the right now.
So mainly in the hair care space.
The personal skincare space, yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, personal skincare. So is that a hard field to get into? Like, are you creating your own products?
It is a saturated market, definitely. I can say it's not necessarily hard, but there's a lot of competition that's out there. It's pretty fluid. And yes, I do create my products. All the recipes are natural and organic, and it's straight made, from recipes that I've been creating over the years. Truth be told, I kind of stumbled into the business, right, a little bit, because at the time, me and my family, we have very sensitive skin allergies. And before the vegan trends, before the organic trends and the natural trends was trending like it is now, you couldn't find a lot of natural organic products on the shelves. And that really took away a lot of opportunity for me and my family, especially with our skin ailments, to really just get natural, basic skincare needs. So I started creating my own recipes for a little while. And, one thing led to another. Word started getting out. Hey, Janice, what do you use? And I've been using my own products for quite some time, that someone really just encouraged me along to, pursue it as a business. So in 2015, I did formalize. A lot of things happened. Life happened, had to press pause. And I came back during the height of COVID in 2020 to take the opportunity to rebrand, restructure, and we relaunched in the beginning of this year.
So you had to shut down your business at one point.
I had to, yes. I had to press pause for a little bit because life just takes you wherever it takes you, right?
Yes.
So formally, I've been in business since 2015, had a pause for a little bit, came back, rebranded, restructured, because at the time that I started business, the whole natural needs wasn't really that prevalent just yet. And when I came back, it was whoa. Everyone's in skincare, everyone's organic. So I had to really think about if I wanted to come back into the original business structure, or do I want to come back and, a fresh new approach? And that's what I decided to do. So I rebranded, come back with a fresh new approach in 2021, and it's been great.
Well, I guess a good question would be is, how did you set yourself apart in such a saturated market?
Really, honestly, the niche at the end of the day. It's really understanding your why and sticking to it. So separating myself apart was more so of understanding that there was a purpose as to why I started pursuing natural and organic skincare, but allowing that opportunity to solve a solution. Because in saturated markets, at the end of the day, you know how you go down the supermarket and you go to any supermarket and you go through the bread aisle and you see all these different kinds of breads, different brands, different varieties. It doesn't mean you don't want bread. It's just you have a lot of different options to choose from. So sticking to your core values and your whys, and understanding that when you're solving a problem, that's really honestly where it comes down to, and why people will support your business and how you can stay in business for sustainability purposes is really, truth be told, understanding your niche and sticking to your why and fulfilling that purpose at the end of the day.
Okay. Just want to let the viewers know I'm sitting down with Janice Johnson. She is the creator and owner of, was it
Sugar Salt?
Sugar Salt.
The Sugar Salt brand.
Sugar Salt, and the name of your brand is a collection number 4, I believe.
It's actually the Sugar Salt Corporation. There's
Sugar
2
Salt
parent
Corporation.
brands.
Okay.
So Sugar Salt is the unisex, and number 4 collection is the men's.
Oh, so men, we have our own section.
You have your own section, your own everything. So the number 4 collection is strictly for the fellas.
Okay. So I've ordered from you. I'm still waiting our products. I know that it's going to be an excellent product. I've heard nothing but great things about the product. I see tonight we have Jermaine Anderson in the room. We have Clyde, one of my Clubhouse buddies, on here. So we have a good mix of people that's coming inside the room slowly here. But nonetheless, I know some of the viewers would like to know. You set yourself apart by rebranding, sticking to what you know. But as far as like the actual construction and creation of the business, like the tedious things that you'll get people to talk about business, but you don't get people to talk about, hey, these are some of the first things I did. I filed my EIN number. I created an LLC. Can you talk more into that for us, please?
Man, God, I can go on. So I think my best advice, right, for anyone starting a business is really write your business idea and really create a business plan. Create a business strategy up front, right? Understand who you want to market to, who you want your customers to be, what is going to separate you. And that's so eloquently put, what separates you, what is going to be your niche, right? And then when we're coming into the formality of the business structure, my thing is before, you even think about a tax ID or an EIN, really search, go out there on the internet and search, to see, well, do I have a business name? Does someone else has that business name, right? Is the domain available? Are in there copyrights or trademarks that are already associated with those names? Because the one thing you don't want to do is actually go forward thinking this is a great idea and you get hit with a roadblock because you didn't properly research, the information up front. So that would be my number 1 strategy, is to really honestly go into a research mode. Look into the name of the business, especially if you have a name already in mind. Look and see, go to the trademark and copyright websites. Make sure there's not one out there that's pending or, already, accounted for. See if your domains are available. See if the social sites are available, right? So I have Sugar Salt, and I identified it with SUGR instead of SUGAR. So I spelled it differently. So it was easier for me to create my social media handles under that seamlessly, because no one doesn't have that name, right? So I would definitely encourage any business owner or aspiring business owner to really do the necessary research before the EIN. And depending on what state you're actually located in, each state is going to specify their whole business structure setup. So some states require you to file for your EIN first and then file with the state. And there's other states that require you to file with them first before you even attempt to get a tax ID. So I would definitely consult your state business, office, and really honestly just really go into a little bit more in depth before the EIN, because the one thing you don't want to do is shoot yourself in the foot before you begin. And now you have to be paying out some ridiculous amount of fees, right? Simply because, you didn't do the proper research up front.
That's a really good point. Now, when you were starting your business, how much did it essentially, now, what state did you start your business in? And how much was the general cost of everything you had to do to set that foundation in order for you to create that business?
Absolutely. So I'm located in the state of Florida. So my business is, birth out of the state of Florida. Here, our LLC requirements is only $125 to file in the state of Florida. Going to the IRS website, the EIN is free, right? Correct. So really, truth be told, $125, you get your LLC certificate, you get your EIN, go to the bank, right? Open up the business bank account under those legal entities, and really it's home free from there. So truthfully, it was really $125 that actually required me to formalize on paper. And obviously those dollars amount will trade differently depending on the industry, right? The licensing that's required and so on and so forth. But in the state of Florida, just to file the LLC is $125.
One of the things I see when people are creating businesses, having a Facebook page that is essentially your company, and having an Instagram, and having all sorts of other social media, so you can actually market and advertise freely. Once you build that, basic foundation of filing with the state as well as with the federal government, I think marketing, branding, like with my company, I had to, make my own logo and emblem, and you got to get that trademark. So there's all these little nuances of creating a business that's very important. Now, even with you, in such a saturated market of skincare, what are some of the other things that you believe that you've done to set yourself apart to make you more successful than all these other people who are in skin? I mean, there's a lot of people in skincare products and hair care products. People are making it from scratch. Oh, I got the oatmeal and you got the shea butter. Like, I'm trying to find out, like, what makes you not better, but what makes you more marketable that people want to buy your product than other people?
God, there's so many different things, but I know one thing that I did, and it was really understanding my market, is really go to your market, right? If you have a specific product or service and you have an ideal market, go to your market first and do some market research. The one thing I did, especially with the number 4 collection more than anything, because that was specifically dedicated to men, I actually did a market research survey. I created a survey. I sent it out to every man that I knew, whether I knew him directly, personally, colleagues, peers.
And that cost you how much money?
Yeah, right. Pretty much. And it was the simplest things and the simplest questions that I wanted to know. I really wanted the perspective of men when they looked at skincare, what they like, what they didn't like, what would make them reach for something versus not reach for something. And truth be told, depending on your resources, there is a lot of market research that is already out there in which you can, contribute to, right? And, grab from. But I knew I was coming into a special niche, organic and natural skincare, and for men. So it was kind of very hard to get that market research that was already out there, because there's not a lot of people or organizations that's really catering to men on the organic and natural skincare side. So me doing my own market research and getting that feedback before I even put out a single product was imperative, for, the culture of my business, because now who best to hear the information from than your own ideal client? If my clients are going to be men, my customers are going to be men, I need the opinions and the perceptions from those people, right? And the same thing with any other business or service. I think it's critical for any business owner or aspiring business owner to really understand who your services or your products are going to benefit, and really get that feedback and have them feel, like they're inclusive in your brand. And therefore, when it's time to launch your brand, they're 100% in support of you.
there's a lot of risk in the steps that you've taken because you're in a weird niche where there's a woman who's making skin products for men, because usually they might have a man's face, but you're catering to the men's side of us. And again, men are, as you get older, we want to take care of our skin a lot better. So what made you say, you know what, I want to make skin products for men? That's one question. Second question, I just want to circle back. If you can answer this one first. If you had to put a number on how much it cost you to start your business, how much do you believe that was?
So that number, I'm gonna be honest, it was
not for the products and the ingredients, just to legally start your business with the state and the federal government.
It was less than $200.
Less than $200. So people can essentially start their business with less than $200.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, let's break it down. So $200. Now you have your own website. And what's that website again?
It's sugarsalt.com and number4collection.com.
And the number4collection.com is for the men products, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now how much did it cost you to build those websites? And did you get someone part of the gig, the gig network, or did you build it yourself?
So I had a vision and I'm creative. So I actually built my websites from ground up. And if I wanted to put a dollar amount on the countless hours, I really could not give you that, but I can.
What platform did you use?
I was on Squarespace. So
Squarespace.
I built it from ground up, not from a template. I actually built it from ground up, from Squarespace, 2 separate websites, so on and so forth. I can truly say that, those templates, if you wanted to go to any really hosting platform, they do have templates out there.
Like GoDaddy and Wix.
And Shopify and so on and so forth, what can cost you cents to nickels, right? If you want to bring in a professional, right, to actually custom that site more to your personalized favor, you can look anywhere from maybe a couple of $100 to a couple of $1,000. It really just depends on how extensive those customizations are. But it really didn't cost me much, simply because I opted personally into the monthly subscription versus the annual subscription up front, because I knew it was going to take me time to build the website.
Yes.
And the one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to monitor my costs into the business up front before I made any profit, right? So don't get me wrong, not knowing what kind of feedback or, kind of support I was going to get up front, I was being very selective of how much my expenses were before I started selling anything per se. And really looking and monitoring my return on investment. Really, I didn't want to go into it, in serious debt. And I don't think any business owner want to go into their business in serious debt.
you really went over a pain point there for most people who try to start their own businesses. They legalize their business. They register on the federal and state level with the LLC. They create their logo, they trademark, they patent their products, whether it be a utility or design patent. They get their, email, website up. And I was gonna say another great source that people may not know of is Fiverr, because my emblem and everything I pretty much built, I went through low-cost Fiverr people from across the world making all my products and animations for me and things like that. The one thing you just spoke about is the one thing that kills most young businesses is operating costs, right? Operating costs, because the first 3 to 5 years, you won't pay any taxes because you're going to be at a net loss. That's the part that people don't like to hear about. I was like, oh, people love talking about business, but you don't talk about how much it costs to start, operate, and actually start, running your business to be successful. That's one of the key points that I think that you just pointed out. How much is going to cost you to start and operate your business to the point where you start receiving a profit?
Right. And I think any business owner, if they go into the aspect of building a business, the better off they understand that I may not get the profit the first year or even the second year, will allow them the opportunity to say, am I really in this for the right reasons? Am I in this to fulfill passion or purpose, right? Because if you get up every day knowing that, you know what, I'm not going to make a profit today, but it's going to get me one step closer to that day, then by all means, keep pushing forward, because, slow and steady wins the race. My suggestion for any business owner, regardless of what your industry is, your niche may be, never go so far into debt, trying to start your business, because the profit is not going to come until later. You're going to have more expenses than gains, right? During that first year, sometimes even that second year, depending on how good your marketing strategy is, how good your branding strategy is, the network of professionals that you have in your corner as it pertains to the professionals that you need in order to grow and scale up your business. So it may be big words or daunting for any new starting startups or new, aspiring business owners, but it is doable. It is achievable. It just doesn't have to be costly.
I'm going to take a gander. We're going to take a little small break. Just glancing at your website here, I think it's a lovely website. I think it's clean, simple, right to the point of your products. And for you guys who have beards like myself, if you want to get into her products,
I'm trying.
Yeah, let's keep your face like that. This is www.number4collection.com, and this is Janice Johnson. This is her creation. This is her business, and she's actually creating with this particular brand for the men. It says here, his natural organic skincare, and these are for guys. Beard combs, beard and face. Is this wash or is this some sort of oil here?
No, it's actually a face wash. It's a beard and face wash. Okay. It's a foaming one.
And you got the beard balm. And again, guys, don't forget, these are all organic. So there's no harmful chemicals. There's no aluminum, benzene and all these other things they put in our stuff. And here's the beard oil. Mm-hmm. I think I just bought the beard oil, correct? I don't know what I purchased.
Yeah, you got the beard oil, and I believe you got the body lotion, I believe. If not, but you got the set. You got the set coming your way.
Okay. And this is what the site looks like when you guys come inside of it here. Beard, face, skin, and body. Okay, so she has a lot of things going on. And I like this little freebie right here when you purchase anything that's $65 or over. That's real classy. I like that little tote bag. What do they call it? A tote bag? A toiletry bag.
You're on the same line. Whatever you want to call it.
But do you want to reveal that special you have going on right now?
So, you talk about, okay. So yeah. So right now, since launching back in 2000, January, since launching the men's collection this year, we sold out twice. I'm on my third go round of replenishing. And I wanted to allow the opportunity for, more affordable solutions. But I did get a lot of feedback. Even though great feedback, I do get a lot of feedback of skepticism. I don't know if this is going to be right for me, and the one thing I don't want no one to do, just like me as a business owner, not to go head over heels, and all these expenses, not knowing if it's going to be right for me. I'm keeping my customers at the top of mind. I'm understanding that we are still in a pandemic. I'm understanding that financial security may not be as secure today as it was, a few years back. So I wanted the opportunity for fellas, to really try the products without really reaching deep into the product. So our bestsellers collection, which is our gift set, which comes with the beard oil, the beard face, the beard and face wash, and the beard balm, is normally $45. I have it on sale for the remainder of the month to get our bestseller set for $29.95. Just to go to the website. There is a promotional code at the top. It's TRIO, TRIO, that if you just type that in at the time of checkout, you actually get that discounted off, and then you will get the standard, collection set that comes with that territory. And right now, there's a small freebie that's going on with how can I say it? Sorry, I just had a brain fart for a second. There's a small freebie that's going on while supplies last, which you can try sample products. So I try to include sample products in all of my purchases, as the samples are available. So you can actually get, a taste of something that you did not order. So just in case it works for you, you know what to come back for. But, again, try to make it affordable, because the one thing I don't want to happen is someone who is coming to the territory of, I may have sensitive skin, or I may have psoriasis, or I may have lupus, or whatever skin ailments it may be. We really don't know how these products are going to react with your body type. And even though it's natural and organic, we have to understand DNA is DNA at the end of the day. It may not be for everybody. So the one thing I don't want to happen, right, is you try the products and it actually does the opposite, adverse, favorite reaction you expected. So if that is the case, I do have a 100% guaranteed return policy that I will replace that product.
Whoa. 100%. 100%.
100%.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
All right, go ahead, sister.
So if you come and say, you know what, Janice, I was expecting this did not happen, depending on when that opportunity is coming back to me in communication, I would gladly refund the product or replace the product with something else, of your favor. So I do believe in customer service, right? Being a minority business owner, my customers and my clients are ideal at the top of mind. And, like I said, I came into it to fulfill a purpose. There are a lot of people out there that need, solutions, right, that are not costly at the end of the day, so they can take care of their basic skincare needs.
Okay. I know that we're going to have a lot of people who are interested, and especially during this time, the special that you're giving. I just put your website in the chat, but I know that you might have like a gift code or some. As we're going along, can you just put that in the chat for me if you don't mind?
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone can see it, because it's actually, when you go to the website, it's right there at the top. It stays at the top banner. So there's a top banner.
Okay.
It's right there, so you won't miss it. It's right at the top.
If you go to the website here of www.4collection.com, right here at the top, and she tried to make it a little sneaky so people don't notice it, but it says, snag our best-selling beer gift set for $30 using the code TRIO.
I didn't make it sneaky.
Yeah,
it stays there on every single page, so it doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere. So I know there's one thing for those people who are really interested in building their own business, whether it be in this particular field or another, is how do you leverage costs with the rising cost of the ingredients and products and everything you have to, like, you got to get your, your cases, your containers for it. And I notice it's in the dark tinted one. So I guess the sun doesn't degrade the quality of it.
Correct.
Because it's organic. Then you have the labeling. How are you, all this operating costs of products and websites, how do you leverage it when right now, currently the inflation is at 5.4%? Do you limit the amount of products you're making? Do you raise costs? Like, how do you go about doing this?
It's factored into the price, right? So me being a strategic business owner, I would say, any advice for any, business owner that would be strategic in their proper plan is factor in your costs, right? Your operational costs, your supplies, factor in the profit, and factor in paying yourself, because that's one thing a lot of business owners don't do. They don't factor in their man hours, right? What you do with your business is not free. That time is not free. That effort is not free. Factor that in. So the one thing that I do is all of my containers, all of my supplies are normally bought in bulk, in big bulk items, right? And the only thing I'm factoring into it per se, because a lot of this stuff is non-perishable, right? So a lot of my products have a shelf life of 6 months or more, some of them more than a year, right? I try to make the products as fresh as I can make it. So when it's made, it's actually either made within that week or, made to order. But the one thing that's taken into consideration is just the time aspect of it all. So what you see is what you get, right? And the one thing I take in consideration when I'm pricing out my products, and anyone that's either products or services, take into consideration the inflation, right? Take into consideration the ingredients, the paper towels, the gloves, every single thing that you need to create your product from here to the finish line should be already factored in the cost value of that actual product. So when per se, if something were to happen with inflation or whatever the case may be, you're not taking your customers through a culture shock by raising your prices constantly over and over and over again, because you're not taking into consideration all of these things. If you do it at the very beginning and have your formula set, then you can sustain your business and know that at any point in time, you'll just scale up in quantity. You don't have to necessarily scale up in dollar amount.
I think, again, that's one of the things that when people are starting a business, we miss out on. It's, again, operating costs is a large sector of the business of how to keep it going. Now, moving forward, what are some of the things that you're going to be doing to grow your business to make it even more successful?
Absolutely. So the one thing I'm doing right now, more so than anything, is a lot of network and a lot of collaboration, right? I do understand that I am myself as a woman, may not be in the same spaces, right, that a lot of my clients may be in. So what I'm doing is really understanding the true power of networking and collaboration. And I want to say collaboration in forms of partnership, right? There are plenty of men out there who know their niche. There are plenty of men out there who offer services to other men and products to other men. I want to be where they are. I want my product to show up where I may not necessarily show up as a woman, given my gender, right? And the one thing that I have to take in consideration and understand in order for business sustainability and to scale up, that it takes the effort of other professionals and individuals who may know your market better than you. Don't be afraid to open up your mouth, and ask for resources and ask for help, because I don't know any one business owner who does it by themselves. They're not a one-man show, right? And what I'm doing more specifically right now is in that networking space, in that collaboration space, I am building content. I'm creating content. I'm getting my product out in more ways than just regular standard website orders. I'm going to vendor shows now. I'm showing up in pop-up shops. I'm actually about to get it under contract and show up in the mall, have a space in the mall, and so on and so forth. So
you're gonna be like one of those people when they walking down the mall, they're like, "Hey, can I put this sugar salt on you?"
But that's the goal.
And you're like, "Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good."
But the goal is you want your product to show up where your customers may be, right? So I know one thing that I personally hate. I hate the game of golf, but there's a lot of men on the golf course. I need to be strategic about where I show up at, right? And when I mean me, I mean my brand, my structure, my envision. It really bothers me sometimes more than anything, because I think a lot of business owners forget that part, that sometimes in order for your business to scale up and take off, you may need to involve other professionals to help you get from point A to point B. It's a network, right? It's Definitely. A network, and it doesn't necessarily have to equate to competition. It's just being strategic in your planning, because there's plenty out there for everybody, regardless of what industry you're in.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Mm-hmm. What are your fears and worries within the business? Like, as you're going through into a certain trajectory where you're trying to reach new heights, what is some of your worst fears in dealing with this business?
Speaking speaking on the number 4 collection and my being totally transparent, I have already collaborated with my team on numerous times about the one thing we don't want from a marketing standpoint is our marketing concept to be perceived where we emasculate the man. That's the one thing, that's the biggest fear of mine. I'm not here to present beautification to men. I'm here to present a grooming regimen, right? And the one thing I want to do is empower men to take better care of themselves from a natural, organic standpoint without emasculating them, right? We don't.
Whoa. Okay, let's touch on that because that's saying a lot.
It is. It really is.
You know, as a man, I'm gonna keep it to you raw. The way I'm looking at it is like, hey, I'm not trying to make you guys feminine. I'm just trying to have you great products for your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have like a slogan or something that you came up with? You know, like my slogan is like learn money and be inspired. Like, do you have something similar?
For the men's collection, it's normalize his skincare.
Okay.
So, and for the women's collection, fall in love again. Fall in love with your skin again. So there's a couple of things we have. There's depending on the campaign, right? Because the campaign changes depending on the season, the time, and so on and so forth. But that's the one thing that is for the number 4 collection is normalize his skincare. You know, it is natural. It is normal to adapt a skincare regimen. I just don't want it in a way where we're emasculating anyone's manhood to do so.
Oh, you got some body scrub on here? Okay.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything.
I noticed that. I didn't know you had the natural deodorant on here. So you get what, 2 bars here?
It's pictured there. It's 1 bar, 1 for the 12. But
you have to be more careful.
Yeah. But it lets you know when you click on it. So
by any chance, do you have like any products, not putting you on a spot or anything, but you have any products near you?
Actually, I do. I just have to go and grab them. It's not here, because this one's empty. So these are empty. They're the containers that I use for product presentation, right? But I do actually have quite a few products. They're just in the other room.
Now, just hold those up real quick. I know some guys would like to see it how it looks. I mean, you know what? You got the sleekness, the style, and design for men. Like it's not over masculine. It's not too feminine. It's like it's really professional look. Yeah, it has a professional, neat look of the labeling. I actually like that. And the reason why I'm letting people showcase this is what professional looks like. Okay, what professional looks like, because we're talking with Janice Johnson. This is her male brand collection number 4, and the name of her company is dealing with sugar salts. I want to make sure I get that right. It's sugar salt, not sugar salt.
It's sugar salt. Sugar Salt is the parent brand. Number 4 collection is the men's side.
What is the website for the Sugar Salt?
It's Sugar Salt. So it's www.sugar, SUGR, salt, SALT.com. So there's the A missing out, the sugar. Hey, sugar. But
SUGR.
It's one thing that you did say that I really want to point out too. The aesthetics of the product was really, honestly, carefully cultivated. So all of the labeling on the products are waterproof. Because one thing I do take in consideration is that some of these products may be used in the shower. Some of these products may be used over the sink or where water is involved. The one thing I don't want to happen is you get water on the outside of the products, and next thing you know, your directions go running off, right? Or the label comes running off, so on and so forth. So all of our labeling are waterproof, where the water just rolls right off and it's durable.
Really?
Outside. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you had to endure a little more cost when it comes to your products because of that waterproof labeling. Because I mean, I think that's just a care that you have for your business. I mean, if I made the same products, I mean, your label come off, hey. So that means you really care. So I'm on your sugar salt website here. If you want to just briefly talk about some of the products here, like the charcoal clay mask. What is that mostly used for?
So the charcoal clay mask is mostly used to remove dead skin and oil residue and bacteria from underneath the skin surfaces. So this is particularly good for someone who has a lot of skin ailments such as acne, blackheads, and dry skin on their actual face, where they can actually see the noticeable blemishes on their face or their body, right? It doesn't necessarily safe for your face, but it's also safe for your body. So it's activated with water, where you just put on the mask, on that dedicated part of your body, leave on for 5 to 10 minutes, wipe it off with a warm rag or, warm water, and just finish out your skincare regimen.
So this is the charcoal clay mask, right? And it's black, right? It's like a black paste once you add water.
Correct.
Is there a white clay mask? Because if I put it on, they don't think I just sat out in the sun. Like, do you have something?
I can't. So I have like it's called Benetite, and I don't pronounce it right because I'm Caribbean. So it's Benoi. It's not white, but it does look very creamy, like a creamy color in nature. So that is the closest to it. Yeah.
Okay. Walk us through this one really quickly. I'm just curious because of the name La Rosa.
La Rosa.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien. Sí, you speak
Sí, señorita. Oh, ¿poquito español?
Yes. I'm from Miami, so I know a little sham.
Oh, man, you won't go back to English. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's not a problem. So this is one of our limited editions mask, and the one thing about the rose is especially good as an antioxidant and for dry skin. So when we're thinking about the flower of the rose and how fragrant it is and how refreshing that is, you actually get the same kind of benefits, when you actually have the actual rose petal that's actually implemented into your skincare regimen. So
who's this this product usually for? Is it for men, women, or both, or just women?
Everything on the Sugar Salt site is unisex. So it can be used for men and women alike, depending on, the actual product. So in this particular case, this is a face mask. So it's not like it's going to smell like a woman. It's going to smell like roses, right? But only for the time that you're using it, so to speak. So you don't have this lingering fragrance, right? And there's a lot of our products on the Sugar Salt site that's actually created, unisex wise, that has very subtle scents, but it uses a lot of essential oils. And with the essential oils being used in the products, it allows the opportunity for, like I said, any skin type, any skin elements to really take on.
Hair in your skin, dry skin, anti-aging, acne, accessory. The one thing that I hate to point this out, but there's always a viewer or viewers who see this video. They're going to ask, what research did go into you mixing all of these elements together that to assist in these particular problems like dry skin, aging, acne, exfoliation, etc.?
If you're in the business of anything that you do, in order to be a credible professional, you really actually have to be a steward or student, right? You have to do your research. You have to understand that it's not just about just taking stuff and just putting it together and just say, here you go, right?
So you telling me I can't just take honey and oatmeal and put it on?
You can take a honey and oatmeal and make whatever paste you want to make, right?
Yeah.
But to understand what honey and oatmeal do, you have to study it, right? You have to understand the dynamics. You have to understand the history, and how it is reactive to certain skin types and non-reactive to other skin types. There's a lot of research that goes involved with it, right? And the one thing that I personally do, I was a chemistry lover in high school. I wanted to be a biochemical engineer. And then I started my college career in pharmacy. So there's a lot that comes with the territory of mixing things and creating things. That's always been my thing. But it took a lot of time for every single recipe that I have. So none of the recipes that are actually, or should I say products, that I actually place on the website for any consumer to buy has not already been beta with someone or individuals. So I do a lot of product testing before I actually put out the product on the website to get, tried and true with different skin types and so on and so forth. So again, a lot of research that comes behind the territory. But to answer your question more specifically, that's exactly how I know that, what is it good for, so on and so forth, because I have plenty of people in my corner that I'm like, hey, so I got a new product, you want to try it? And they come back and give me feedback and so on and so forth. And that was one thing that I was very strategic about doing, but it cultivated into what you see now. So the one thing that I truly do love as being a consumer myself is giving that valuable feedback, right? When I go out there and eat something, or I sleep, at a hotel, or I try something, for the very first time, I want to be able to give some positive feedback back to the business owner so they can use that as saying, good job, keep it going because it actually is working, or maybe I need to tweak some things. Being in the skincare industry, we don't have time for liabilities, right? So the one thing we don't want to do is just randomly throw stuff out there and say, let's hope it works. No, we do try all of our products and beta it on willing individuals who are part of the team, our research team on the background. Make sure we have enough feedback on these products to say, okay, yeah, we can put it out, but maybe it's not the time to put it out. So those limited editions that you was actually seeing on the site, they're really best during the heat times, the summer times where it's very hot, because it's bringing you a refreshing to the exhaustion of being dehydrated because of the natural, season of being hot and humid, which is why they're a limited time. They're not going to work as well in the winter time, which is why we cycle our products through. So you'll see some things like that because we do know that certain products work best, depending on the environment, while other products don't really are, or should I say, are not as effective during certain seasons because of, natural environment.
Okay. I mean, this is a wealth of knowledge, just not on the business side, but all the detail that you're giving of the research that you put into this. And I think a lot of times when we're building a business, we don't understand all the different types of nuances that go inside of it. Mm-hmm. Not, some people, like we talked about earlier about a business plan, because when I created mine, I was like, oh, I need a business plan, and I need a website. It's all these things to be successful that you need. But some people just thinking, oh, I'm just going to go file for a business.
Right.
That's pretty much going to be it.
Right.
I will have to say it does take some level of money to build your business. And you were stating in the state of Florida, when you filed your information, it took you roughly around $200. But we haven't even got into the amount of money you put into buying all the products and ingredients,
not even
the amount of time that you research each product. Now, this could be a guy who's creating IT software, or he's a truck driver with certification. All these are different type of business, but the basis of business is exactly what you were talking about earlier, about getting your LLC, getting registered with the state, looking out for your name, whether it be trademark for your different platforms of social media, your website. I mean, all these things that people don't essentially think of. And again, I think one of the key things that people overlook is that business plan. Like, people don't have a vision, a mission, or what is their true purpose of making your own business. So I think it's imperative that you've given a lot of detail, not only how to build it, but how you're passionate about your products and the things that you created, because this took a lot of time. Which I want to say, where are you at if you had to say not making profit, making profit, above profit?
I'm right there, dead in the middle.
Dead in the middle.
I'm as humble.
My head above water. Making a way like you can.
And the reason why I'm saying that, it's not because of what I'm seeing when you hear that cha-ching that comes in every time a transaction comes in during the website. I'm looking at how often do I have to resupply, right? Okay. I'm looking at the expenses of maintaining the websites. I'm looking at the taxes that I'm paying as a business owner on the back end. I'm looking at all of the operational stuff, right, that comes in with the territory of once I get the order, all of the resources that is necessary to get that order out, because there's cost that's associated with that too, right? So when I'm thinking about a profit standpoint, I'm right there at the medium, but I feel that that's me being as very transparent and humbling as possible, because I've been in a new business structure now for only 6 months, right? And though I see profit coming in, I'm not really identifying those dollars as profit. I'm identifying those dollars as a return on investment to reallocate back into the business. When I get enough cha-ching where I see more dollars after the reallocation, then I start looking at that as sustainable profit.
So 2 things before we end here. Are you paying yourself, 1, and then 2, how are you filing your taxes when it comes to this?
Absolutely. So I'm now paying myself. At first I wasn't, because there wasn't a sustainable profit that's there. But when the profit started growing to where it's now there's more profit, after the reallocation back into the business, I filed for my S corp. I just actually got the approval.
You said you are an S corp?
I am an S corp now.
Oh, S corp.
S corp.
Not S corp.
Single corp.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Single corporation.
Okay.
So I did file with the IRS, and
you went from an LLC to an S corp?
Yes, I went from a single LLC to a single corporation, and truth be told, it took me about 4 months to get to that point from start to begin. So the support that I've gotten has been, I'm grateful for my village, and the word of mouth and the referrals. But it came time to, now that I was officially deemed, and that letter just came in about a week ago from the IRS to where they acknowledged the S corp, I can now start paying myself, because as an LLC, there was no beneficial gain to pay myself, as an LLC. But now that I am a single corporation, not only am I paying myself, my children are now about to be on the payroll, and we're about to start paying them for, how they contribute towards the family business now.
How old are they?
I have an 8-year-old, I have a 13-year-old, and I have a 16-year-old.
Well, just for tax purposes, I'll let those people know. You can pay your kids up to $12,000 a year. Yep. And they don't pay taxes on the money, and neither do you. You actually that actually files as a tax deduction. So essentially, you may end up getting a profit back, but you can pay your kids up to $12,000 a year. Yep. So I think that's imperative that people know that on that $12,000, you can do it on a check. You just have to show some form of payment to your kids. Yep. Just don't have to be paying them for real. Excuse me.
Pay them kids to their
No, just have the paperwork to pay them.
Pay them kids. They help you pay them kids.
If you feed and clothe them, they got, hold up, I'm feeding, clothing you, nurturing you, and I'm paying you. Something ain't right here. So essentially, it can be good on paper, and I'm gonna get that tax deduction back, because again, you want to lower your tax bracket by the amount of employees you have.
Exactly.
And if you're not really paying them, but you're paying them, quote unquote. I mean, these are the loopholes in business that people need to know, because if I'm gonna pay my kids, then they have to pay me back if they're living at my house eating my food. So essentially, it's a gray area that you can be covered. And of course, you want that documentation in case you get audited. You definitely want to check, or some say for the tax year of 2021, I paid Shaniqua $12,000. Okay, and you can just have a check, because she don't have to cash the check at all.
Right.
Exactly. And you
Right.
can make that part of your tax portfolio for your business and then file taxes. And then for that deduction, it will decrease it by 12,000. Thus, you getting a return or at least leveling out where you don't have to pay taxes like Donald Trump. Excuse me. Man. Whew. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking with Janice Johnson, the inventor and creator of Sugar Salt, as well as the number 4 collection. That the number 4 collection.com is the website for men.
Yes.
That men can go and take care of their skin with natural products.
Yep.
Here's a quick glance. His natural plus organic skincare. Again, this is www.number4collection.com. She deals with the beard, face, skin, and body for men. She has also some natural products. Again, I'm in love with the labeling. I really like the design of the labeling. You've done a magnificent job. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm still waiting for my order. Excuse me.
Come on now.
Oh,
don't do me like that on this video.
Oh man. And here's the unisex site for men and women. Okay. She has all sorts of products. I'm just going to name a couple here. Here's Sugar Salt for the cleanse, and you have the moisturizer, and you have the repair. Again, I'm loving the bottling as well as the labeling. I'm big on that. I like the way things look when it sits up on your counter. Okay. And some of the things she deals with is the cleanse of your skin, exfoliate, moisturize and repair, dry skin, anti-aging, acne. That's accessories. And Clarence, look into the accessories very quickly as we ending here. I just want you guys to know the bamboo bowl and spoon. Okay. If you want to do num your kekio, num your. He also has a lava from a stone and a lot of natural sponges here. Is there anything that you want to leave the viewers with, Janice?
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely wanted to, expound upon the purpose behind this, right? So what started to be something that me and my family needed turned into a business venture. But the one thing that we're going to do is continue that purpose along. So right now we are supporting Alopecia Awareness Month. I myself have alopecia. All purchases that's made, we actually kicked off that campaign in August, but going forward, 10% of all of our net profits will be allocated to the Alopecia Awareness Foundation.
Wow.
And that's continuous. That's not a monthly thing. That's not a one-time campaign thing. So each product and each purchase that you make, whether it's number 4 collection or the Sugar Salt, 10% of those proceeds will be dedicated back to the community in the form of alopecia awareness, because that's something near and dear to my heart. We want to continue to empower those individuals who, have insecurities, about their skin and their hair, to let them know that people out here, support them. And you may not have to be vocal, because I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people are not really vocalized about, given that, how glamorized, right, the beauty and skincare industry is, that you just don't feel normal. So we do continue that purpose along, to make sure that we do give back to our communities, both local and national, and that, small business owners. So by all means, any, support for minority, Black owned and veteran owned, mind you, go Navy, is greatly appreciated. I gotta say that. Represent my world's finest Navy. Have to represent that.
I understand that. So essentially, they're doing a good cause here by supporting alopecia as well as the United States Navy.
Yes.
So veteran-owned business, of course.
It's a veteran-owned, correct.
Well, I personally want to thank you, Janice, for your time, your expertise, and all the great information you gave out. This has been absolutely wonderful. I hope people not only learned something on how to build their business, but also support your products at sugarsalt.com as well as number4collection.com. Thank you so much, sister. I do appreciate your time.
Oh, thank
everyone,
you.
As usual, we're going to rock out here. You guys have any questions for Janice? We're going to stay on a couple of minutes while the music's playing. Please type that in the comment section so she can respond. We're going to stay up roughly about 2 minutes here. You guys have any questions? If not, we're going to wish you guys a good night. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired.
Thank you.
Any questions you guys have for Janice and Sugar Salt? How to start a business, taxes. I'm going to say about roughly 1 more minute for you guys to still tuning in. If you have any questions, please let us know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great and wonderful night. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. Good night.
Night.